Hi guys, welcome to today's market recap. It's May the 11th. So today there weren't a lot of momentum stocks in play. So I traded Nvidia, which is a higher price stock. So overall, it was a good positive day. I was up about $170 at one stage. Wanted to get to 200 and, being a bit greedy. And I came all the way back to about $45, $60, and then I built my way back up to about 112. So I decided to rest for the day. I finished. I'm not quite satisfied because I know that I'm getting a little bit better at this, and I know that I'm getting a bit more confident. I also shorted Nvidia today as well, and that worked out a couple of times. So I'm beginning to feel the vibe which maybe a couple of days ago I didn't have, and I guess now looking back on it, I'm 3 green days in a row. But it isn't about the money. It's about the process. It's about sticking to a plan that you have. And you really have to treat this like a job. A job is boring sometimes, or most of the time, depending on what you do. So, in a job, you have a process and you do it and you go through the motions. And if it doesn't work, then you redo it or you improve something. And if it works, then great. So, I haven't read this book, but let me show you what I'm going to be looking at. Trading in the Zone, Mark Douglas. A lot of people have recommended this to me. One of the things in there is that, and I haven't read it yet, but what I've heard is one of the things in there is that, you really need to treat this like a job. You can't go into a trade gung-ho and, getting all emotional, your heart racing, 170 beats a minute and, sweating profusely and then, make a couple $100 and then, thinking you're God. You really have to do this slowly. You need to have a plan. You need to do it in a very systematic way. And there's one very good trader that's based in the US, which I'm talking to regularly, and he's doing excellent. I mean, he knows what I'm talking about. He regularly makes a very good amount of money, and he's very systematic in the way that he approaches his trades. He spent a very long time perfecting his strategy. He's working on his risk management now, and for all of us, I mean, we need to follow those rules. We need to follow the best guys in the trade. And this one guy is one of those very very good traders that I look up to, and potentially I'll mentor at some stage. So today's trades. So let's go through them now. So there was a few of them. We started off with. Oh, so the first thing also to mention is that I didn't trade pre-market. There was nothing on offer, and I noticed the last 3 or 4 days that I haven't been doing well in pre-market, so I decided to kind of stick out for today. So Nvidia, I pretty much traded Nvidia first off the bat. So let's look at that. Now you'll notice an absolute shitload, pardon my French, of actually you won't see the dashes here, but let me show you all the trades I took on this. It's going to be a bit scary, and you probably won't be able to see anything. So these are all the trades I took on Nvidia today. I got long a couple of times. I got in right here at 9:30 at the market open at about $120.50, and this thing just rocketed up to about $123.34. Now, this is my experience as well, but I haven't traded a lot of stocks at this price range, so that's why I got out pretty quickly. I made, I think, $200 on this, $196 on this one move. And then, actually, sorry, my apologies. I scaled out, I think. So let me just look at that. So let's look at. So I bought 100. No, so I sold here. So I made a little bit loss on the first one, and then I got in again. Okay. So this massive move, I was in this massive move, and looking back on it, I wouldn't say you could predict it, but you certainly knew that this is a very very strong stock, especially last couple of days. And people jump on this, and you may have institutional traders, you may have hedge funds that are kind of helping build a support and actually drive it higher even still. As we speak now, it's 11:44 in the morning. It's done 16.6 million shares, so in volume, and it's sitting at 125.57. It's ridiculous. I mean, I was thinking is it going to break 125 half an hour ago when it was at about 124.70. I mean, look at this. It's just going absolutely mental. Today it's made a 5-point move from about 120. roughly 120.50 to 125, 5 point move. I mean, that is huge. That's a big move. So even if you look at yesterday, I mean, yesterday was also, it made 14-point move before the market opened yesterday. So, this was in play for the last couple of days. And I mean, tomorrow, Friday, I'm assuming that, people will still be very interested in it, especially with the weekend coming up. So something to definitely keep in mind. But, I was tempted to keep trading this. I mean, even now, looking at where we are with the price and the price action, there's still opportunities to be had in here. But I'm not going to be scalping anymore. It's like I said, 11:45. I'm done. I should have been done a bit earlier on, but today's a good day, so we're not going to take anything away from that. And last thing I want to do is get greedy, because I know that's one of my weaknesses. When I see a stock run up, I just kind of I get crazy. I saliva at the mouth, and it's like, I got to get in here. This is me. This is me. I want to do this. And I know that that's not the best approach to take, because if this was a job, and it is a job, you wouldn't be doing that. If your boss says, write a report for me, you're not going to go, yeah, boss, I'd love to do this for you. I can't wait to get cracking. You got to be normal in the sense that, you can't let emotions overtake what it is that you're feeling. And I'm an emotional person. I know that, and I have to work hard on that. But so this is me. This is what I'm dealing with. Anyway, so we traded Nvidia. Then we moved on to HIMX. I think I made a small loss on this. Let me have a look. I think it was like $60 loss or something. Apologies. Yes, I think I traded this twice. So I think I made a bit of a profit on it, but then I ended up making a bit of a loss. So, nothing substantial. Let me just have a look at that. Yeah, it's $15 loss. So, nothing really substantial there. I kind of missed this initial run up here. But it wasn't an easy stock to trade in the sense that it was a bit choppy here and backwards. And like I said, this is one of those low float ones where today there wasn't a lot on offer in terms of momentum stocks. So I took this, but there wasn't that much to it. So once again, I'm trading very conservatively at the moment. I mean, how much did I take? 500 shares. I mean, that's not a lot of shares. So that was that one. Then I moved on to so Nvidia again. VRX. So VRX was $59 loss. So this one, I was actually waiting for it to break 13, and I got in, I think, at 12.85, and I got out at 12.93. It wasn't breaking. Hindsight. We're all masters of the universe in terms of hindsight. I mean, yes, if I held, I mean, geez, I'd be up, a hell of a lot. I mean, it's at $13.50 now. But also, what I've held through this price of 12.75. If I had a 20-cent stop loss and I got in at 12.86, whatever it was, then my stop loss would have been 12.66. Then yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have been stopped out, and I would have ridden this all the way up. But it is what it is. I know that the other thing I need to work on is giving a bit more wiggle room to my trades. And I've also noticed that if I'm on a bit of a losing streak, I tend to really have tight stops, and I get stopped out a lot, which doesn't help because most of the time the trades do work out. But being in that kind of fear mode makes me put really tight stops on things. So I think if the first trade I took, Nvidia, if I had made that $200, I mean, I would have been done for the day. I would have stopped. But if my target say was $300 and I had made 200 on Nvidia and I wanted to keep going, I would have been a little bit more aggressive, and I would have probably set a stop loss of say 15-20 cents on this, and it would have worked out. So this is another one of those trades where I know I was right, but I was just a bit early, and maybe my inexperience is the fact that you need to give them a little bit more wiggle room. Or just don't get in that early. Just give them a few minutes to kind of settle down and then kind of get cracking. I mean, if I waited till what time is this? 10 o'clock. If I set a price alert here, which I did at $13, I would have been able to get in here. I waited a little bit too long, and I got in here at 13.13, and it kind of dropped to about 13.05, and I think even touched 13 or went under 13 a couple of times. and I thought, okay, it doesn't look to be very strong here, and I got out. But had I held, would have been great. I mean, now it's making new highs on the day. So good trade, just a bit of inexperience. Then we moved on to MTBC. Now, this I made a decent amount of money on. I think the day before yesterday was $400. It had a massive short squeeze. It was yesterday. Here you go. It went from like $2.40, and I got in at $2.40, and it went all the way up to $3.82. I only took a small amount of that, but as soon as I saw it pop up on the alerts this morning, I thought, okay, maybe this is in play again. Day two. I mean, the volume wasn't there to start off with, and when I got in, the volume was already, on the kind of low side, and I think I got in at, was it 250, 256? I think it was 251. I got in. Sorry, I sold that MTBC. Yes, I got in 256. I didn't want to average down, and I got out at 251 simply because it just wasn't going anywhere. And good trade because it didn't go anywhere. I mean, 259 is the highest it went to. I mean, sorry, 263 when I was just in it at the very beginning, and I thought, maybe it'll go that little bit higher to 275. If it reaches 275, you'll get people jumping in. You'll get few more people that are short getting squeezed out. And, maybe we'll get to 285, 290. Once you get there, you're looking at 3. So that was my plan for this trade. So every trade I do, I'll get into, I have a plan. I may not have it written down, but I certainly have a plan. I'll show you something else. This is my daily summary. I'm not sure whether you guys will be able to see a lot of this, but I write down everything I do here. So I write down, obviously, the date. I write down any news that are coming out this morning, whether it's economic news or anything to do with currencies or the market, which may affect, the stock market. And then down here, I have my watch list, and I usually just write how I go. And on the back, my trading journal, I kind of write down all the trades I'm in, what I felt at the time. Was I angry? Was I frustrated? And any notes, so that when I do my analysis, I have a bit of a clearer picture. I usually fill this in at the end of the day. So, so getting back to this, the plan was to have it go about 275 and then get out, but didn't happen, so we let that one go. And then I think after NTBC, I think I traded HRMX again, but nothing major, and then it was just NVIDIA all day long. So let's look at where NVIDIA is now. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that is just massive. I mean, this will reach 126. I mean, I'm pretty confident it'll get to 126 fairly soon. And it's not even midday yet. So, I mean, wow, really, really strong stock. It's almost $4.50 up, so 4.5 points up on the day. So that's it from me today, guys. I want to say one more thing. If you are looking at finding out how I trade these stocks or where I get the alerts from, I use Trade Ideas, which is a fantastic application software, which just gives you a lot of very good alerts. You can set them up yourself in terms of different strategies that you're using, and I think it's very worthwhile to have a look at. If you are keen, have a look at my blog, Day Trade Arcade, because I have a 15% discount, which will definitely help you guys kind of start off and let me know what you think. If you'd like any help setting it up, I'm more than willing to kind of help and share my filters that I have. Also, have a look at the video I recorded on Trade Ideas and how I use it, and the filters and the settings, and how I look at the market in pre-market to how I find my stocks. That may also help. So that's it, guys. A good day. Didn't get greedy. There's NVIDIA, 126. Bang. And I'll speak to you guys tomorrow. Cheers.